Now we're rolling. And so just tell me really quick. Oh no. Tell me really quickly your name, your age, and yeah.
Okay. I am Kaylee. I'm 17, and this is my first year attending One Stone.
Yay. Tell me about a moment of pride.
Moment of pride. Let's see. Oh, okay. When I was like 7 or 8, I lived in a very small town in Idaho, and I've always loved drawing. So my mom took me to the fair, and my big brother was entering a like Lego set into like this competition. And I was like, hey, you could like enter in a little drawing in this like little fair competition for the like little local county fair. So I drew a little vase with like flowers, and then I entered it, and then 2 weeks later I got the very top ribbon for my first ever entry into a county fair art competition. So yeah, I was like 8 or 7.
Aww. Continue that story on, like as how it's impacted you and propelled you now.
Okay, so my great grandma was an artist in also a very small town in Idaho. She was pretty well known amongst like the elderly community for her art, and I got this little tattoo for her. And everybody always says I got like my artistic bone from her. But I was like, have a very like hustle culture kind of family. Never really was like, oh, it's not something like that's big of a deal, until that like winning that ribbon. I was like, oh my gosh, this is something I'm like actually pretty okay at. So off and on, I've like went in and out of it. I have sold like a couple paintings, so that's definitely like boosted my confidence in my art. But I think One Stone has definitely helped me a lot with like understanding that pursuing your passion is just good for your soul and your heart, and you kind of need it, and it's very important to me. And like passion is like one of my biggest focuses this term. So
why is passion one of your biggest focuses?
Because I've learned this school year how important and crucial it is for like your internal self. Because like I said, I like last year was like, okay, I just need to like grind, figure out a way to make money after high school, like maybe do art sometimes, but like it just can't be incorporated in my career at all. Like that's what I thought. And then I went on a tour to Trademark, fell in love with everything about it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like everything I love combined. And I kind of learned like there is ways to incorporate your passion and practicality and making money in your life no matter what it is. So yeah, this time I was like, dang, I think like I need to focus on art a little bit more. So I've been doing my T-popper passion is a lot more focused on like physical art. I'm making a little prototype of something, and then like I've been trying to paint more, and I started working with Teal and Catalyst just to do watercolors in the morning. So I learned it's just like, one, it's just good for your mental health and yourself, but it's also like it's something I'm good at and I enjoy, and I think that can fuel a lot of your future with like job and career also.
Totally. Will you tell me like in great detail about your trip to Trademark and that tour?
Yes. Okay, so when I first got told about it, like Sam Johnson he said he used to intern there, so I assumed like it was just...
Oh, and then tell the story like someone who has no idea what One Stone is like watching it.
Oh,
so
okay.
Like who is Sam? What is Trademark?
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Should I say like what One Stone is?
Yeah, actually, you could start with that. That would be really good.
Okay, so as I said, I am a student of One Stone. One Stone is a student-led organization, high school / just organization. There's lots of opportunities for students that attend other schools to come and do community work. And so, yeah, very student-led, very passion-based. So I was in this class with one of our coaches. We don't call them teachers, we call them coaches. Sam Johnson. He makes big puppets, and he's a very talented man, but he works a lot in like tools and woodwork and welding. So he was going to take us on this tour to this place called Trademark, and he interned there. And when he told us about it, I thought it was very much just straight trade work, which I do love, but I thought it was just very strictly wood making, crafting. That's all I really thought of it. Wasn't really sure what I was going to. And then we got there. The moment I walked in the building, everything was just so cool. The chairs were really interesting. The carpets were cool. There was like just interesting graphics everywhere. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like such a cool work environment. And the guy we were talking to was not like your typical like trade worker, middle-aged man. Like I could tell he had a very artistic side to him, which I found very interesting. And as he was showing us through other people's offices, I was like, oh my goodness, like he started explaining graphic design. And I was like, wow, I don't think I've ever really understood what it means to do graphic design. Like, I don't know, never thought much of it. And he showed us a lot of the stuff they had worked on. And I was just like, holy crap, like these people made this together in this building, in these offices, and now people have bought it from them, like these things they've made, and they see it out in public, which is just so awesome. And they took us to their workshop area. So not only do they like get clients make these designs themselves in their computers, prototype them, but they build them with their own hands. They don't just send it to some manufacturing thing, which I was like, holy crap, that is so cool. The machines they had were awesome, and like they gave us these, like there was like this blue head prototype that was just so cool. And so like big three things I'm passionate about is like just people, artwork, and just working with my hands. And this company is like literally all of those sandwiched together, which I didn't think was possible. And I was just like, holy crap. So super excited, attempting to intern there this summer. So that's why I've also been focusing on passion a lot this term. So I've been working in graphic design with Becca, which is Two Birds, which is a little mini student-led graphic design business. And I've also been working in the foundry, so I've been using lots of woodworking machines. So trying to do all those things to like build that muscle to hopefully get an intern there this summer.
That's so Kaylee, that was exactly what I was looking for. That's so
Okay.
perfect. Oh my gosh.
Yay.
Oh, yay. Okay, so tell me more about the work that you've done in the foundry and in Two Birds.
Okay, so when I first, like I could remember I would be doing math with John, one of our math coaches, and like across the room, I would look across the room in the Two Birds area, and I would see you and a group of people. And it's so funny like how things work, because I was at the beginning of the year, I was always like, I always wondered what it was. I was like, what are these people doing on a Tuesday afternoon? It was a pretty big group at the time, and I had no clue what it was. And then like I remember I was working on credit stuff with my mentor, and she was like, oh, make sure you like take into account like a Two Birds credit. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I like talked to Michael about it, and he was like, go talk to Becca. And I had no clue who you were at the time. And so I went and talked to you. I was like, okay, this is a credit I need. And I was just like, whatever, it's like a credit. And then I went, and like the first 2 times I went, I was just like, holy crap, this is totally what I just like learned about at Trademark. And I was like, oh my god, like this is like the gateway into what I just discovered I think I might love. And I got to Sandra, a really awesome student, like a student lead in Two Birds, let me use her iPad to just draw up some stuff. And I remember the first thing I drew, I like hated immediately, started erasing it. She was like, oh my god, no, what are you doing? Like, you need to keep everything you make so you can just reflect, look back on it, and add on to it. And then I remember it was like the best feeling ever. We were in a client meeting, and I was just doodling ideas that came to my head. And after, when we reflected on the meeting, so many people came up and said how much they loved it, and were like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And I was like, wow, like this is really something I could get into. And it just felt so good for my heart and like just my internal self. And so fell in love with Two Birds immediately, and planning on doing it all the way through graduation. And then I was talking to Sam Johnson, and he was like, hey, I talked to the manager, and he said if you do your best this upcoming spring term, to get as much experience as possible, you could possibly get an internship this summer at Trademark. So that's a lot of why I've been working on passion. And so been working on just a bunch of different stuff in Two Birds. Love it. Love the community in Two Birds. And then in the foundry, I am making an ecosystem chandelier, so it's going to be like 2 layers of wood. One layer is going to be little vases with flowers, and then the second layer is going to be kind of like a succulent wall. And then hanging off the sides of both of those, I'm going to have air plants. And I'm just making like a living room sized one this term, but next year I plan on making many different kinds. Like I want to make one that's a propagating something. So yeah, very excited about it. I've used about 5 different tools in the foundry so far. So hopefully I get that internship, but if not, I'm planning on doing it the next upcoming school year. So yeah.
Fuck yes, dude. Oh my god. Okay, that's all the time we have.
Okay.
This, I'm not kidding, was so perfect. But you, again, look in the camera and just say, like, my name's Kaylee, I'm whatever age, I go to, 1 Stone.
Okay. My name is Kaylee, I'm 17 years old, and I am a 1 Stone student.
Ah,